You remember this game? Of course you do. Who could forget about the cultural phenomenon Animal Jam? Well, now known as Animal Jam Classic. In previous years, this game soared in popularity. It almost took over the internet at some point, but over the last decade, it has taken a large decline in players. So it kind of begs the question of, there's that many people that still play this game even? Over the last few years, I've been kind of documenting information per year on approximately how many people might be playing the game. Now, I do want to pre-note this is not accurate, perfectly accurate anyway. It is just a range. I don't have direct access to the Animal Jam servers, so there is no way for me to know, or for you to know, the exact number of people playing. But there is one way we can get a range of how many players are getting on this game still, and that's by actually getting on the game. See, in your account settings at the top right, you actually have the option to change worlds, and this will show you all of the servers available. All these servers here, they will range with these little green dots. Some of them will say full. Now, as a kid, I used to think that these meant nothing. They actually do mean something. Using something called a server key, we can see what dots mean what. If the dots are just 3 gray, that means there's less than 25 people, and if the server is full, then there's 150 players or more in that server. So, as you can see, this is where we're going to be calculating the range of players that are online on the game. Now, here we are on Animal Jam Classic. Hope you guys like that little intro. Yeah, I've done this in previous years. You probably have gotten up to speed now on how I do this. But pretty much we're going to be calculating from these servers here how many people are online and then comparing it to previous years, because I think that's fun, and also maybe theorizing why it might be less, why it might be more. I do want to pre-note, it's not perfectly accurate as I said in the intro. I've done all of these at like pretty different times of the years. At least you're blessed enough to see 4 of these consecutively for 4 years straight. Well, we'll just pull up my handy dandy calculator here, and I'm just gonna get to work, and I'll pick this up when I do all the numbers. Okay, and we're back with the numbers all crunched. So there was 11 servers with at least 1 green dot in them, meaning there was at the lowest 20 players in each of these, and at highest 49 according to the server key. Times that by 11, you're looking at a range of 220 to 539 players in each of those servers. Then there was servers with absolutely no green dots, so 3 gray dots, with the range of 0 players to 20 players in each. There was 5 of these servers, meaning the range was 0 to 100. And then there was 4 full servers with 150 players or more in them. Times that by 4, we're at 600 players for those servers. So the grand total is, for the range, 820 to 1,239 players in total. Now this could be more, or it could be less even, actually. It's probably a bit more than that, I'm not gonna lie, or at least around the range, because unfortunate to say, but this server thing is not perfect. It's already changed while I'm doing this, by the way, as well. One of the servers is no longer full, but also this full server thing really throws this off. It's 150 players or more in them, so we have really no way of knowing if there's actually perfectly 150 players in these servers. And from what I know, it doesn't count people in these servers if they're like in certain dens or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I kind of assume it works that way. But in comparison to previous years I've done this, I do believe this is the second lowest set of results I've done this. I think last year's was the highest, but that was also at a time where Animal Jam was kind of having its little resurgence because of a bunch of people from TikTok were invading the game. By the way, I do want to make it a note that, you know, it really does depend on the time of the year, whether this game is going to have more players on it or not. I'm doing this at the start of the year. I'm doing this on a Sunday at 6 p.m. for me. That is also something to take into account. I'm in Ireland, so it's probably like, I don't know, afternoon time for a lot of Americans, which I'm imagining mostly Americans play this game. They might play later in the day, and you know, this would be even less during weekdays. Like, I was actually going to record this video earlier in the week. However, I did it at like 3 p.m. my time on a Wednesday, and there was like 5 servers online. I didn't think that would be the best for results for this video, and it would make it seem like a lot less people play this game in reality. If you want an honest to God guess on how many people play this game a day, I would say about 2,500 players to 3,000, because the number I just crunched, it's that's only for right now. That's not even accounting for players that might log off and other players might log in. So as for unique players, I'm imagining about 2,500 to 3,000. And in all honesty, as I said, it depends on the time of the year. We're actually probably at a low numbers for the first time in a few months for the player count, because there was a lot more players playing this game later last year in 2025. Animal Jam updated quite a bit because of the reception and engagement they were getting on the game, and that just caused more people to engage and more people to play the game a lot of the time. Like, there was times where I saw the server list have more than 4 servers full at a time. I've seen servers have up to 10 full servers, I'm pretty sure, at some points last year that weren't full of bots, because that's also something you have to account for now, I guess. Even though we haven't had bot rates in quite a while, luckily enough. I hope me saying that doesn't cause one person to raid the game with bots again. Please don't do that. But while these numbers are lower than last year's, I'm still fairly confident that this game is kind of performing comfortably, I guess, in terms of numbers and whatnot. Obviously for Animal Jam Mobile, there's no way of me calculating that server count or player count or anything like that. But I know there was some kind of leaked data last year that only showed PlayWild had like double the players from Classic at some point, and it was like 2,000 to 3,000 or something like that. But I imagine the same story kind of goes where, you know, more players are probably playing that game in certain parts in certain days as well. Look, I know most people think this game is like deserted now and it's long gone and, for lack of better terms, dead. I think they got one more in them. I think so. I definitely don't think this game is gonna, you know, reach the heights it used to have in like 2015. I think games like Animal Jam just aren't gonna be that popular ever again. But as for people, you know, having that kind of yearly nostalgia for this game, and people that have been playing this game for over a decade that just seem to not be able to shake this game off because it has a gripe on their life. You have people like them that will never quit the game, that will keep it alive, right? But as for the current state of Animal Jam, I know there's kind of a lot of controversy going around the brand as a whole, especially because of that whole dumpster fire Roblox game they had a few weeks ago. I'm not going to talk about that too much here because I'm planning on doing another video probably a week or two from now. You'll probably see it talking about the current state of the game, more of a follow-up to a video I made a year or two ago. But to simply put it, for this video, I think the state of the game is a lot better than it has been in quite some time. Like, for the last 15 years I've been playing this game, and 2024 I would say was probably one of the worst points for this game. I don't know why, but I personally couldn't grow myself to log into the game most months of the year. The game was getting so stale for me, there was barely anyone playing, and I don't know if they took the feedback a lot of people, such as myself, were giving them regarding the way the game was in 2024, but it really did seem like they turned things around near the end of 2024 and going into 2025, so it really does make sense that, you know, things are looking we're looking a bit up, you know. I'm glad to see it. But I think we'll wrap it up here. Big thank you to the members of this channel for supporting me always. They knew this video was coming ahead of the time, and if you want your name here at the end of the video, as well as some extra perks like behind the scenes stuff, and you just want to support me in general, hit the join button down below. It does help out a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. I have a few other projects on the way that you guys will see. Make sure to check out the last video because it's kind of performing terribly and it's making me die inside, but it took quite a while, so no, I'm joking. I had fun with that anyway. But all right, toodaloo gang, catch you next time.